Alright, shouldn't bother with this, but more of this Hythloday nonsense. I suppose you got to talk to all these people, but yeah, it's just this whole method of conversation. I've made thousands of videos, and none of those videos have I said there's any urgency to go out into the world and get rid of the inefficient. Be nice. I certainly wouldn't be opposed. Lots of things I would vote for, applying a put them out of their misery standard for. I think it'd be really beneficial if there was some kind of meteor storm on Earth or something, and it instantaneously, maybe wiped out all the world's slums, because most of those people aren't going to be worth anything. So it certainly would be better for the human race. I might vote for an immigration policy where you have to get sterilized, or free immigration for anyone sterilized. Something like that, childless too, or well, limited to 2 kids or something. But you're just going to talk about murder now. Where in my ethics has there been any description of any necessity to act? None. I do believe there's people who are unproductive. They will do nothing but cause harm in their life to other people and themselves, and they'd be better off dead. But I also recognize that, I don't know that we can't convict them with certainty. So if you can't convict them in a fair trial, then and it's not the solution to the big picture problem, then I wouldn't exercise anything. There's nothing in my ethics that says murder okay. So again, this is just a lie. Yeah, I believe you can have wars against Adolf Hitler. I believe you can kill people who are a threat, who are overtly a threat. So where's this requirement that my philosophy says you just go out and randomly kill people? Or that you kill people without a trial? That you kill people without fair judgment? I'm just saying that if you judge them fairly, by a fair standard, and they come up lacking, okay, insufficient to the standard, I don't see any problem with that. So again, your argument is just vacant. And this is a subject for which I have not pontificated, and yet you're putting words in my mouth and saying my philosophy mandates. It does nothing, no such thing. You have no evidence it does any such thing. You're just making this shit up. You crazy bastard.
Demands to come that I prove to him some measurement system contrary to his opinion. And, the antinatalists deny the chance of improving life, and that maybe offspring might improve life.
We don't deny this improving life bullshit, so that's a lie. We deny that you will ever do anything in your whole fucking existence to justify one child with cancer. That's what we state, that you'll never be able to clean up the horror sufficiently. You have no method to get there with the configuration of our basic nature. We're competitive animals. You have to reconstruct the entire animal, and there's still absolutely no point in doing it. The fact that you can improve a sewage circumstance, nobody's arguing that you can't take some of the turds out of the goddamn sewage. The argument is just turn the valve off and there's no more fucking sewage, you fucking idiot. And this argument's been made so many fucking times that you have no real excuse to fucking still get it fucking wrong. Except that you're a liar, a malicious liar. That's the only way you can get this wrong over and over again. You have to just be a malicious liar.
We say, but there's a good chance they might be happy with their lives. They say, you prove it, and all the happiness and good that they might do in their life counts for nothing. The utilitarian.
Well, yeah, you've said all the sentient brains, big giant brains, and all the beasties is of no consequence whatsoever to you. No, completely irrelevant. This argument from dismissal is bullshit. They've committed no crime. They've shown no lack of productivity in terms of chasing their bliss. They're certainly no less capable of doing it than you are, and yet you have decided, I will abuse them, I will incarcerate them, I will torture them. What kind of fucking hypocrite are you? Well, we know, a preposterous hypocrite.
A negative utilitarian scheme of things.
so that I'm more valuable alive than dead, because I'm a cure for the disease you assholes are creating.
Oh, I like that one.
So he says, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you didn't respond to it in any way, right? Yeah, you'll never account for yourself. You'll never account for the accusations that are being made directly to you. You'll never answer any of the questions put to you. Exactly how do you make your insane distinction between the sentient, bliss-chasing life of the beasts you are incarcerating and torturing and yourself, except to say, God says so, I'm human. You don't have any fucking rational explanation for why this distinction. You lying piece of shit. Alright, I'll be back.
And the world would be better off if you were dead.
So, I mean, is that any clearer? It's clearly okay to murder me. But
okay,
no.
again, so where have I suggested any plan or any necessity to kill useless sacks of shit? Where have I suggested that in a single fucking video? Oh, that's right, nowhere. I haven't put you on a fair trial, have I? Have we fairly created a standard, a social standard that says these are the things you must do in your life or you're not worthy? Have we done any of that? No. So again, where do you get that? I'm just going to tell you plainly and flatly, and as clear as I can say, I certainly, okay, from my perspective, wouldn't see that the world would be diminished without your presence. I think you're just a menace. You're a shit-talking, glib, motherfucking cunt torturer. And I would personally say, yes, it'd be just great if you could get exactly what you deserve, the same kind of, and a glib murderer on to boot. But that's not a philosophy. That's just a personal statement I'm making regarding the fact that, yeah, I see absolutely no good potential in you. So, yeah, the sooner you can be squished, the better. I have no personal interest in your existence and see no value possible coming from it, because you're a stone-cold moron. You're as dumb and thick and stupid as they fucking come. But I've never made a video about it. I've never saw that as an agenda for the society. I've never suggested there's any imperative to do that, because there isn't. The imperative is to prevent the harm, okay, not to try to correct for the harm you've already made. There is no correction. You can't undo the mess you fuckers make.
Him, because he says so. You know, all this hypocrisy of, is this not pure hypocrisy?
Again, it's not pure hypocrisy. You can't find one video where I've talked on this subject. Again, so where's the hypocrisy? You're the one saying this is my agenda, this is my philosophy. Yet my philosophy says nothing on this subject, and if it's forced to say something, it says, well, you have to have a reason to kill something. Yes, that makes sense. And if you have a good reason, if it actually is a good reason, okay, actual harm, actual evidence that you had some reason to believe it needed to get done, then I might say that's okay.
That he grants rights and equality to all these sentients, but I'm not equal to him. It's okay to murder me.
Well, I'm sorry, equal has nothing to do with it. Again, you're going to say that just because two people are alive, they're equal in terms of their effect on the world. They're equal. The rapist is equal to the guy at the Cancer Research Center spending 12 hours a day trying to cure cancer, and some drunken rapist. They're both equal. They're both equal in terms of their value to the sentient life on planet Earth. Well, no, they're not. So it's a stupid goddamn, it would be idiotic to sit there and just presume equality.
But not him.
I'm not. Unfortunately.
Alright, well, whatever. I'm not going to waste my time with this video. Again, this is not a subject I have any opinion on. There's no necessity to kill people. Okay? There's the priority is to prevent the damage, not to sit there and clean up the damagers. So this is just completely irrelevant to my philosophy or anything I'm advocating. So he's just a liar to sit there and pretend that I've made murder videos, murder's okay videos. Hasn't happened. You're full of shit. Yeah. Alright, we'll go to the next video. I'm sure it's no better. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, he wants everybody to be a subjectivist. Let's all have just our personal opinions and make all these decisions based on personal opinions. You don't believe in angels. They killed people because they didn't believe in angels. That happened on Earth, shithead. by your philosophy, by your silly ethics.
Okay. It's all about meaning.
24 minutes.
What I mean by the word. It's about what you mean by the word. It's about what's commonly accepted.
No, the value word was simple enough, okay? It either has positive value or negative value. It either has a positive impact in the world or a negative impact in the world. Now you're going to change the vocabulary to meaning. Oh, fuck.
As the meaning behind words. So I'm going to lay it all on the line.
No, fuck
Gary,
you. Fuck you.
If you could provide one simple kind of everyday usage that I might recognise of somebody using value in the way you do, instantiating this category, then I'll have to concede defeat.
Oh, I've already done it, okay? Every day people talk about how children are valuable. It takes a village to raise a child. So every day people recognize that they have a valuable welfare. We have huge rules, we put up barriers, we make sure they're at a certain height, we make sure we have all kinds of rules to protect the value of them. Okay, not our valuing of them. No, the fact that they are in fact valuable. Every fucking day.
We'll go, oh yes, when we say this apple contains value, it's exactly the same as what you're doing. It's going in the category of value. But no, here's the conditions.
Yeah, you know, my conditions in these videos are going to be, as soon as you say two things that are outrageously stupid, I'm going to cease watching the video. There's no point in me just watching you babble on, saying insane, stupid, idiotic things. There's no speculation about rocks being put in the value category, or frog, whatever, slime, or some other kind of bullshit. None of that. What's been put in the value category has been explicitly defined and described to you. Okay, it's called sensations, and there's two kinds of sensations: those that you would do again, those you wouldn't do again. Those that should be prevented, those that, you know, that are better than nothing. Says Greytex. You know, but regardless, the point is we know there's bad, and that's the one I'm worried about, is the bad stuff goes in that value category, and you don't do the bad stuff. That's the extent of it, okay? It's not complicated, and you want to pretend it's complicated, that there's complex things in the value category. No, there isn't anything complex in the value category. The value at the bottom line, the only thing that makes the Mets winning the World Series matter is because it matters to some idiotic humans who sit there and find it, you know, gives them a joy to play a sadistic game of winner and loser. So even though there's more losers created, more people disappointed than satisfied with the end result, they still play the game, just like the lottery and all this other bullshit. It is living a lie. It is preposterously stupid and illogical, but that's what human beings are. But it has nothing to do with my value category. The lottery's not in there, not as a positive, as a complete negative. Completely detrimental to the welfare of sentient organisms. This is not good for people. None of this shit's good for you. You're just creating more losers than winners. You're paying more. You're committing torture to chase a pink balloon. You can't. It's ludicrous economics.
You have to provide an example whereby a person is not making a valuation, or that the valuation is not taking place within some model. For example,
I'm sorry, I don't have to do that. I'm explaining a theory of reality, and I'm telling you what has value. I'm saying the truth is, okay, the ultimate factual truth is, and an intelligence would know it, is that the sentient beings are the things that have value, that their feelings are the things that are important. If you show up in the universe as an intelligence that never saw a universe, and there was one planet with feeling things on it, your attention would go there if you've tasted the feelings, if you know what feelings are. The rest of the universe is dull, stupid, uninteresting, doing absolutely nothing that matters, and the only thing that matters is that sentient beings are feeling sentient sensations. I've said it as clearly as I need to say it. Alright, this has nothing to do with projections of human beings. The value existed before human beings existed. It existed before they did their cognitive thing. It existed before they played with fire. It existed hundreds of millions of years ago when sentient organisms were just sentient organisms and weren't doing much intelligence on planet Earth. They were just eking out existences, feelings, sensations. The value existed then, it exists now. It has nothing to do with you playing games with categories now and saying a category can only exist after a human makes it. Well, of course we have to make the category. Of course we have to discover. We can't draw the picture of nature if we haven't looked at nature. You can't take a photograph of something that doesn't exist. So, of course, we're making these categories, but the fact that we're making them, there's a huge difference between projecting a reality and describing a reality. This hasn't been obscure in this conversation. That's my accusation. You can describe reality or you can lie. Okay, or you can tell a fantasy story.
You might say the silver dollar has value. It is valuable. It only is within the model of worth. I should have had a chess piece.
Oh, fuck. The model now he's using the word worth. I mean, it's just amazing. No, it's valuable in the sense that it affects the welfare of sentient beings. And that's the only value it has. And if it's going to affect them in a good or bad way. That's it. There's no other value.
Hey, the queen has value in the game of chess, but it only has the queen at the value in the model of within the rules of chess.
Right, and chess only has value because, you know, again, silly people need to play silly games to entertain their sentience. So again, we're back to the same argument. What is at the core, what lies at the foundation of anything done and any piece of value that's associated with it? I already made this explanation. I've already said this over and over again. Anything else besides sentience in the value category is only there because it affects the welfare of sentient beings. And if it's going to be denoted to be like penicillin, something positive in terms of its effect on the welfare of sentient beings, versus things that are negative to the, like AIDS, negative to the welfare of sentient beings. Not complicated.
I could say, I value my son. My son has value, but it's my personal
Right,
value.
now, so again, why would I give a fuck about your personal declaration about what makes you horny, whether you're an ass man or a leg man? Why would I want to waste my time having a conversation about your subjective projections of value? Okay, those are things that make you personally feel good, have nothing to do with this overall equation about what is intrinsically value. So once again, I'm saying your son as a child, as a human being, gets in the value category independent of your ownership, independent of your fucking existence. Your son has value. The fact that you place extra value on him more than other people's sons, more than other children, that's your fucking problem. That's your emotional problem. That's not a philosophical subject. So again, wrong, off subject, you're full of shit again.
Situation that's happening. If you can give one example where the word is being used and thus prove that you're not making an entirely arbitrary jump.
Okay, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this arbitrary shit again, okay? I've been as unarbitrary and as explicit as I possibly motherfucking can. I said we have two kinds of feelings, really bad and not bad. And that creates all value is built on those sensations. The creation of the sensation creates the end product welfare state of the beastie, and that's the way it is. The value equation is a simple one in some respects, and it only gets more complicated when you start talking about consent and the rules of whether you're allowed to torture one individual so other people can essentially feed on his tortured carcass. Do you have a right to kill one person so you can live? That kind of an equation. And I'm saying you have no right, to torture anything, ever, Okay, because your existence can never produce anything to justify the pain you impose. These are simple equations. I don't need to do this over and over and over again. I won't do it over and over and over again for one motherfucking idiot. And you're just that. You're one motherfucking lying, shitty, stupid motherfucking idiot. And, yeah, so you've committed 5 or 6 violations in this 2 minutes and 16 seconds. You've misparaphrased the argument entirely. You've been completely off the subject. So, fuck you. I'm just not going to waste my time with this nonsense. I've been explicit and clear. You're the one who keeps making up excuses to say human judgment will decide the truth. No, you'll either discover the truth and get it right, or you'll get it wrong. And I'm saying your preposterous notion, okay, that other sentient life that's not human has no value is wrong, it's stupid, it's idiotic, it's unfounded by any kind of rational evidence. There's absolutely no evidence that your welfare is more important than any other sentient creature's welfare. None. Except your ego. Goodbye, fuckhead. Alright, we'll add a little bit. We'll do a little bit more of this, but I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll just play pieces of it. But let's get back to the original point. Why are we having this discussion? That's the part that's kind of curious. I have no doubts regarding the sensibility of the category I've created, value, and the standards by which I've put things in that category. I don't see any bias or corruption or stupidity or ignorance in my conclusion regarding what life is. It's a biological mechanism. It created sentience, which created value in the universe. It seems perfectly coherent. And the only argument here really is the argument between the value of projected desires or attractions or preferences and actual value, which is sentient harm. Theory goes something like you're accountable for the net effect you have on sentient life on Earth. The net gain is the only game that matters, the big picture game. And that there's no intrinsic value in our function. You can't just say we need to exist, because we don't, just like the Martians don't need to exist and the Venetians don't need to exist. So you have to come up with some sort of value of sufficient weight to justify any harm imposed. And basically the theory is you're kind of stuck. The obligation is first do no harm. You have to try to maximize this profit, and you can't do it by imposing suffering. If you're going to have any suffering, it has to be your own. Pretty much, period. And I'm perfectly satisfied this all, to me, makes perfect logical sense. He's made no counter-argument to anything I have said. He's made no... There's nothing. There's no counter-explanation for how reality actually works, except he says humans are special somehow. They decide what value is. They don't define and describe it. They don't reveal it in the world and then say, we've discovered what's valuable. He says they just project it. And I'm saying all those projections are nonsense. They're not rationally based. They're completely emotionally and physiologically based, and they have nothing to do with reality. Your desire to live, your desire to survive, your desire to see the species survive, all that kind of crap is all projected value. You can't make a rational argument explaining how it has any actual value, where I think I can make a rational argument explaining the actual value of a sentient organism in distress. Okay, there. So what's the argument about? I'm not convincing you? Yes, well, that's just too bad, I guess, isn't it? I don't know, I'm not convincing you. Why? Oh, because you believe in God, you believe in UFOs, you believe in some sort of mumbo-jumbo of purpose and function. You believe it's okay for you to impose suffering on something that didn't consent to it. I'm making the argument that without consent, regardless if it's an unattainability, if you don't have consent, then you have to have certainty. And you're the one without certainty. You're the one acting aggressively. I'm defending the fail-safe, harmless approach. No risk, no liability, nothing, absolutely nothing to lose by being safe. Because just like the Martians or the Venetians, absolutely no evidence of necessity. So anyway, our value, our use. So anyway, let's play it at 3 something.
And our definitional usage, a subjective scale. It's always, and the only time it's not subjective is when it's intersubjective, and that is when
that's your opinion, okay? You want to claim that this is all something you just make up. I'm saying there's a fact, there's a truth. The super intelligence would look at the universe and describe it in a certain way and say this is a truth, that this sentience thing was the meaningful thing created. It created a value circumstance, and it was necessary to reduce the harm and to maximize the comfort. That would be the logical thing to do. There's no logical alternative explanation. The superintelligence would find no rational, logical alternative but to recognize that as being the truth. You want to claim it's all subjective? Go ahead and claim it. I don't buy that argument. I don't buy that you get to just make it up. I think there's a truth. So fuck your inner subjective crap. Fuck your subjective crap. It's projection. Subjection is projection.
Category of apples. Sentience goes in category of apples. Sentience goes in the category of sentience because we agree the criteria, and I can agree the criteria for what we call sentience.
Well, you don't agree with the criteria. You say that humans are doing something completely different. Something so much different that the categories, they're placed in entirely different categories. Somehow human welfare matters, animal welfare does not. Not for any rational reason, nothing I can detect but your own egoism. So bullshit to that. Come on, YouTube, you can do it. You really can. Come on, you can do it. Alright, we'll reload at 717. Jump ahead a little bit. Come on, YouTube.
Can go in the category of value, and I made the qualification that this is depending on what the meaning of the word value is. You have to provide a definition.
I've already done that. I mean, this is just ludicrous. The definition is sentience. It has to be harmable. It doesn't go into the value category unless it's capable of affecting. It either has to affect something that's harmable or it has to be something that's harmable. Period. I already did this. Been there, done that. Over and over and over fucking again.
Gary Inmendham wants to invent a whole new sphere, a whole new game, if you like, a whole new game of chess, whereby we play the counting the value instances that Gary Inmendham defines.
I'm sorry, I'm making a rational argument. You either accept it or you reject it. And if you're going to reject it out of hand without any counter argument, oh, I can't do anything with that. Alright? It's a sequence of logic. I've pointed out the logic that I drew this conclusion from. Alright? I can't make it any more revealed and explicit and exposed, okay? This is how I arrived on Earth. This is what I observed. Point out where my observations are incorrect or shut the fuck up! God damn. I mean, it's not an edict I'm declaring. I'm saying this is the logic. I can see rationality points no other direction. I don't believe in God, I don't believe in UFOs, and I don't believe that the Mets need to win the World Series.
You might like the idea of value, but it's not so nihilistic. It's certainly not ethically nihilistic, because it's plausible to you the idea, and you very much want to, you hold things dear, and you would like.
Again, I'm not going to have this idiotic argument about holding something dear. I'm merely recognizing that I'm sentient. I know I would really hate to be a laboratory mouse and being tortured every fucking goddamn day. That's a rational goddamn judgment. It has nothing to do with anything besides the fact that I'm drawing the rational conclusion that that's a horrible circumstance. The only thing that's kept me from that circumstance is mere chance that I happen to be this consciousness instead of that consciousness. Alright, and I'm saying I wouldn't play a game where I am vulnerable to being the mouse in the goddamn fucking torture chamber, you stupid lunatic. I wouldn't vote for it. I would say, fuck that game. I'm not playing that fucking game, you fucking idiot. Is that too fucking complicated? It's not a fucking emotional response. It's a fucking goddamn rational conclusion that'd be idiotic to play a game where I'm subjecting myself to torture.
Do you not think that it is just your subjective opinion?
Oh, fuck you and that crap. Again, I've made the rational argument for evolution, the biology, sentient brains. This is not just subjective crap. This isn't a projection of value. It's a fucking description of what the fuck is happening on planet fucking Earth, you fucking lunatic.
Value to be existential. But it's not.
Well, again, you existential. I didn't. Where do I ever use these words? I have no claim. That's not my claim at all. You're the one claiming a hidden purpose. You're the one claiming a hope for some kind of accomplishment. Well, there is no such hope. It's not made out of anything but fantasy and projected nonsense. You're goddamn fucking monsters. You go into the environment, you eat shit, you shit shit, and you think you do shit, but you don't do any of that crap. You are just shit makers.
Okay. So, the point is, you're not understanding it. You're not thinking it's true. You say you have a logical underpinnings for this, and yet you don't have a logical underpinnings.
Oh, yeah. Where's your argument? Are you going to make an argument of one single conclusion I've drawn, one observation that's incorrect? Point out the incorrect observation I have made.
Way in which it's true for you, or not true for you, is because of your own personal feelings and definitions that you implement.
Well, whatever. Again, it's not. I can't explain any. Yes, I'm a feeling organism. By feeling, I know what horrible is, and I know what fun is, and I know that the other sentients are experiencing that thing, and I know they're in circumstances I find horrible. I wouldn't want to exist in. Gee, that took way too many brain cells to figure that much out. I wouldn't like to be tortured. I wouldn't play a game where you're subjecting yourself to being actually tortured. That would be silly for a silly game. Oh, fuck this. You know, this is just too stupid. I mean, again, where? He hasn't pointed out one fucking observation, one description, my description of reality, not one element of it that's incorrect. None of it. None of it. None of it. So, yeah, it's just, there's no point. There's no counter-argument. There's no counter-argument to even the consent argument. Where's your counter-argument? If you don't have consent, then you have to be perfect. That seems to make sense to me. You have to be certain of your ability. If you're going to be using somebody else, putting somebody else at jeopardy, stealing somebody else's money, and gambling at Las Vegas, you have to be fucking certain you're going to win. And if you're not certain you're going to win, it's not an ethically viable circumstance. So anyway, fuck this. Just fuck it.